All right, so back to this. This is what, part 22. Don't really have anything to say. In the previous part, we started Natsuki route, right? We kind of reached the conclusion that since this is an option and it's available to us, right? There's kind of no reason not to take advantage of it. The Again, we already got scenes pertaining to Golden Week and midterms, right? So like I think the main thing is just getting the bulk of the content for the other right? And I think the big thing there, right, is again also just because I'm kind of on a limited timeline as well. But we're gonna still go in the order that I kind of planned on attacking it from, right? Pertaining to like when we originally thought we are just gonna have to replay through the whole thing. So again, Natsuki, then Yuri, then so funny enough, the inverse of how I probably would do it, but again, it kind of works out. And like, I'm don't think this should take more than our 20 or 30 parts for everyone, simply because it is cutting out quite a bit of the fluff. Like, this mod really is extensive, and that's something I give it props for. Like, in terms of extensive mods, really the most extensive mods that we've played are, I'd say, go to Blue Skies just for, as like a route based mod. I'd say branching paths for story. And then this kind of is like, another like route based, right? Again, a bit of a mix of both, right? I'd say, but again, it's something to where, again, at least just like based on that there, that makes sense. So, right. And again, we're just gonna continue on, with Oh, so he's gonna read this. All right. And I was gonna say I'm curious to see how these like any like sort of weekend interactions and shit will look like. Or, just interactions with because with Sayori, and to be fair, we kind of were because if you go to like load, we were kind of just on Sayori's route like as a default, right? So it kind of made sense to roll with that. But again, it's like I'm kind of curious to see how these are going to look, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like we're going to end up with one like it is route based, right? But again, kind of curious because it's not as simple as some of the R ones where it's like, oh, it seems to again similar to I guess what's I don't know which I don't know which one I'm thinking about, but it seems to lean a lot heavier into Sayori, right? Which again, one thing I will say is in terms of like because like let me talk about mods where I think they did each of the characters really well. A notable Natsuki's dad one is Summer Hope, right? That's just the one I'm always gonna think of. Yuri and Natsuki honestly gotta both go to New Eyes. I feel like New Eyes did such a good job at like portraying their relationship. It's like nothing else can really kind of compare to it, right? I think I think this one takes the cake for Sayori. Like one thing, like I don't want to sound like dismissive or what would you call it? I guess what's the term? Insensitive? I don't know. But like what I liked about how this mod is that Sayori's like mental, health issues and like depression wasn't the centerpiece. It focused on other aspects of her character. Because I think one thing that generally I think a big, kind of pet peeve. Well, I don't want to say big pet peeve, but definitely kind of a trope is that like when making a mod or something, right? Like the mod, delves like it. What would you call it? It delves like it does a good job at delving into the character's like primary issue, right? Like but like doesn't really flesh him out, right? So like, but I think that's like so mods like New Eyes where it has a nice spin on Yuri and Natsuki, right? And then something like this where it has kind of a nice spin on Sayori, right? Like I think they did really well. Monica, unfortunately, we just haven't played that many. I really liked her on Longer Roads, right? I think that did a really good job. And then on, MC is like I don't want to say this mod is my favorite MC. Unironically, this mod might be my favorite MC, and reason being because, well, one, he's just not your. To, it goes into the issue of these types of games in this genre where it's just like the MC's just to fill in or stand in for whatever individual person playing the game. I really like this MC along with Sayori. I think this one takes the cake for my favorite MC just because like and it's not like all right because to be fair, Fruits is like he's literally just like a spy or something, right? He's like But what I like about this is I really like the development and sort of the implementation of kind of that event that occurred in his life, which kind of shaped him, right? Again, the passing of Haruna, his sister, like that's like, it sounds like I'm wishing Trump, right? But like I think they like that was such a good thing that they implemented in this mod. They did such a good job at implementing it, right? That like I think like compared to like other mods that deal with death. Like let's put it, what was it? Fallen Angels, like I think it's the classic one to dog on, right? Fallen Angel was like so fucking crazy where it had like the MC arguing with the therapist. It's like, oh dude, what the hell is going on here? But, you know, one thing that I like and is really nice about this is I feel like this was in we kind of knew from the very beginning. It just took till the end to actually kind of learn pretty much. The only thing we don't know is how specifically she died, but we pretty much know what happened. It was in a morning, but again, like I guess enough me, but like again, like I've really been enjoying this mod. So, so where the fuck is he going? Is he gonna buy it? Is he gonna run to Natsuki? Is that actually what's being set up? I think that's exactly what's being set up here. So yeah, that's why I'm like literally. So why are you still in uniform? Like, what do you mean it's not what it looks like? Like who did you think we were? Your dad? Like that has to be what it is. Also, how the fuck would he be at school? Like, all right, this is like, and this is what's interesting. Like honestly, this mod is so well done because this is interesting, right? This is telling me that they're setting up for some like plot line on Natsuki's route involving some other individual at the school, right? So, because obviously the main and primary issue is one, her own insecurities, right? But two, also literally her dad, right? But like this is again, like what this is telling me is the focus may or may not be on something entirely different, right? So, I mean, yeah, like what, like good point. Like who the fuck am I gonna tell? Like, yeah, that's you know, Jesus. Yeah, that's why it's, and again, because funny enough, given her home situation, we can kind of understand if there's reason that she'd want to avoid going home, right? Because like the reality is, I will say I did spend, and it's weird looking like this is gonna sound like old of me, but like it's kind of weird thinking back now that I'm like graduated from college, like thinking back to like high school, like however long ago. But like it's still like relatively fresh in my mind, I'd say. Like, I mean, so maybe that'll change once I hit my 30s and my midlife crisis, right? But I think the main and kind of interesting thing is like, so in high school, I spent quite a bit of time at school due to athletics. Like it'd pretty much always be academics during the day and then athletics like either before school or after school, right? So I've spent quite a bit of time at high school, like at like the actual school location. So like, that's something to where it's like, yeah, I spent like quite a bit of time there. But like that was just again due to that. But it's quite possible that she's spending that time there because specifically she doesn't want to go home. And I feel like I don't want to say that's the reality for a lot of students, but definitely some students, right? Like because I mean, if like let's say you're not a part of anything, right? There's only so long you can kind of stay at school. Like I think if you unless you were part of a club, like they shut down like the libraries. I think like five because we school got out what for us. I think it was 3:25 p.m. I think it was 3:25 because grades. This is really weird. I remember the grade school I believe was 8 to 3. Middle school was like 7:40 or something to like 2:30. We actually got out pretty early from middle school. High school was like 8:30 to like 3:25. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what the times were. I don't remember each period of time, but that was like so like I think I'm pretty sure they started to close down libraries at like 5, so you couldn't stay past like an hour 30 after school unless you had some legitimate reason to be there. Like unless you're just wandering the halls, but then they start to like close down, like certain parts of the school. So it's like she lived like right fucking next to school, like because that implies. So I guess I was just completely wrong because that implies that she went to Yuri's, stayed there, and then came back all within like an hour. Like yeah, but also it's like yeah, like because she just doesn't have an interest, right? I mean, granted, obviously they're friends, so she could probably enjoy it too, but it's also like she's probably busy as well. Like Yeah, like, it's kind of like this isn't even like, a like what would you call it? Like one it's just like it's personal preference. Like she just like, like let's put it this way, right? What's something that I'm not super into that I'd say like or like I have a specific I don't know. What's a good I'm trying to think of a good comparison on my end. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really fucking know. But again, like that's reasonable. There's no like someone is prim. All right, but also like, and again, this is my issues. Like you're immediately assuming that it's like it's like a what would you call it? Like hypocritical, contradictory point. Like you're basically assuming assumptions coming from her, and it's like this is like some people are like they genuinely don't see like what they're doing. Like I mean, because it's not even like they're right. Because like I just think it's more so that she just doesn't really. I guess it depends on the portrayal, right? But like, it's kind of like more of a just you don't have an interest, right? But like he's like saying like, oh, she definitely like, you know, yeah, what about you? I mean, he's buying the second volume, so let's see. Pre I mean, well, fucking and again, because the interesting thing is he knows she's malnourished, right? That was the whole reason he like hugged her, right? Was ironically enough to feel her frame, which sounds crazy. But like that was the conclusion he came to, right? So awkward. And again, because funny enough, it's like I mean, she was trying to I don't dog on either of them for not having like an actual like genuine like hug. Like I don't like I'm not dogging on them for that, right? But like, just because like the reality is like it's like an actual like not like oh, I'm paying out, goodbye, like, something like that, right? Like but like an actual like, feel good hug, right? It's like but like again, that now she's like concerned about like how she's acting around him, like shit like that. So it's like but he just picked up on it ironically enough. All right, and then all right, now he's just and as per usual, he's just saying shit. She's like, oh yeah, she blasts up heroin, like all right, you know, all right, what the all right, think twice. I'm this is a compliment, right? Like I'm not reading this wrong, like that, like am I stupid? Is this not a compliment? This is all right, whatever, I'm ignoring it. All right, shit, what the fuck is he talking about? He's just saying shit like. You gonna buy something or what? Like, are you just gonna fucking vigorously silly? But again, like, because I guess we'll see kind of yeah, not really not like she doesn't have that many opportunities to expand her collection, right? So just digitally. I mean, yeah, true. Like, who wants all right, shut the fuck up. Don't be an elitist. Like, I fucking read digital because like you think I'm well, one, there's no real I mean, I assume it'd be different if you were in the East and there was more available around you, right? Like I live in a town of 5,000 people in Louisiana. Like I'm not gonna find a fucking manga store. Like I don't know what to tell you. Two, it's just more convenient to like we live in the fucking digital age. It's 2024. Like, why would I not want a digital version of something? Like I can think of very few things I'd want that are not like in a contemporary form versus digital. Because it's like, how much more can like you want me to like lug boxes around? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, all right, you're just like this is like the whole like because this also like I'm not gonna lie because this is also a big like IRL pet peeve of mine where like people like have an elitist mentality or attitude. It's like oh the substance of it's just the like experience like people like it's not the whole old good new bad discussion but it's more so like just like oh there's these forms of media consumption and entertainment, right? Like it's like, oh, you watch shows, you read things digitally. What a peasant! Like there are unironically people who have like developed superiority complexes over that, and it's like, all right, dude, like it's like, and this isn't like I work full time. Like I've you know, for me, anything I do out of work or like for entertainment is for its sake, right? Like if I'm not and like I'm enjoying my playthrough of this, right? If I wasn't, I wouldn't be playing it. You know, if I'm not entertained, there's no reason for me to like indulge in something. All right, but also then you have to just keep track of that shit, right? All right, but a key don't fucking reminisce about Kiba. Bitch, I don't fucking know. So, all right, which one? You know, the one your right hand. I don't know which one that is. Bitch, I don't. All right, he's like, I'm all right. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that's funny as fuck. You know, well, he's probably just gonna buy it. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, like he's just gonna give her both copies. So, all right, but to be all right, that to be fair, there's truth in this, but that's very fucking straightforward, right? Like I'm not like this is like, dude, like bold as shit. Like not even gonna lie, like. But again, he also by now he has to know how insecure she is regarding her own. Because it's not even that she's independent. It's weird because like I think people misequate like independence with like strength or like I don't even want to say independence with strength, but more so like I guess I arrogance. I don't know. Like, yeah, stubbornness is a good way to put it. Like, probably still buy it, just keep hold on to it. Like, he's like, I'm buying it for myself. Yeah. All right. What the fuck is I not read anything he said. Suede. Let's see. I'm not even gonna read what he says. He just says shit. Shut the fuck up. So, I mean, yeah. Like, all right. And I think to be fair, because like at least like granted, even saying shit to Sayori is like pretty crazy. Like he says some crazy stuff. But like especially to like any like I'm very curious to see his dialogue with Yuri. That is gonna be fucking insane. Like, bitch, what? How do you know where she lives? All right, to be fair, we do know actually in this that she lives near him and Sayori, right? So, I guess because in the kind of the I guess downside or disadvantage is there certain like things that don't happen in there so like this is about something that we hadn't seen because we're on her route and not going through the full thing, right? But I guess like this is a valid question because and it's not like fucking he's like confronting her. It's like he's genuinely curious, right? So, all right, let's see. All right, like to be fair, like this is 100% accurate description, even in Sayori's route. Like, like this is literally the same case regardless. I mean, like, but like, dude, like you really like should have seen this coming. Like, all right, but dude, this is like, all right, I'm not. This is gonna be the most craziest fucking thing you've probably heard from me, or like crazy like rant. So, my dad, he married my mother, obviously, right? And I'm because I'm a product of them, right? They like I'm their son, like, here's what I'll say. My dad's family has really good genetics, like pretty strong genes, right? Mom's side of the house, absolutely fucking abysmal. Like horrible fucking family dynamic, family relations, horrible genetics, right? Like, I guess she managed to get out of it. But that raised the question of why would my dad marry such a person, right? And it's because the love is irrational, right? And I think that's kind of the point here. Like, she's saying, like, he's a pretty crazy, candidate, right? But obviously, emotions aren't rational, right? Love is. So, like, she's saying that. She's basically saying, yeah, I mean, you're a very fucking flawed individual and human being, but you're someone I enjoy spending time with. Like, I think that's fair to say. Like, different. Yep. all right, to be fair, you are being rude. So like I don't know what to say. Like she's just telling you the truth, but like okay, but like dude, this is not a good thing. Like when I say something you are being rude. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like when I mean, but also like if he already took an interest in you based on how whatever, supersonic earring, see, suspicious person of like interest. Also, what's funny is we have zero concept of time here. So I think this is the first time we've ever gotten a message from her, right? I guess not, Because I was gonna say what's funny is in Seawor's route, most of the interactions he's had with Natsuki has been just like trolling her in the group chat, right? So hey, I guess this makes sense. All right. If you're gonna like if you're gonna use punctuation, all right, whatever. But bro, shut the fuck up. What the hell does that even mean? Vibing in my kitchen. What the hell does that even mean? He sounds like an old fucking man trying to talk in like new generation lingo, like vibing in my kitchen. What the hell is that like? What are you doing? Just standing there? Like, what are you fucking talking? Yeah, like, what the hell are you like? What are you even fucking talking about? Like, it's literally like an old guy trying to blend in. Like, bitch, you're shut the fuck up. Dude, this is what I hate about the fucking this MC though, right? And it's more so just a reflection of reality. Like, I hate older Gen Z, and especially I fucking hate millennials. Like, I hate millennials and I hate older Gen Z who are like, oh, I'm so old. Oh, kids these days. Like, bro, like, shouldn't you, one, if you're a millennial, shouldn't you be like fucking improving? Like, you're probably in a dog shit situation. Shouldn't you be improving your own situation, right? Don't worry about what like Gen A and kids today are doing, right? Like, and also the fact that they just dick ride the 90s to fucking hell back. In older Gen Z, it's like, you now remember what millennials, so like I was born in 2000, right? Like I consider myself older Gen Z. Like millennials were dogging on us all the time. And it's like are you that brain dead? Like you don't remember like to a few years ago and you don't recognize you're doing the exact same. It's like the whole brain rot shit. Like people, it's like, oh, brain rot, brain rot. And then it's like it points to like something that we watch, and that's like, oh, no, that actually had a substance. And it's like, all right, dude, come on. Like you mean tell me fucking Shrek is love? Like you mean tell me you watch that and you're like, oh yeah, this is quality content. Like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, but this is like literally the exact type of archetype I hate because so many fucking people like in real life actually like think this way. It's like, oh, Gen A is fucking done for. It's like, dude, like, it's been like 3 years since we were on the receiving end of this. Like, Jerry, all right, crazy fucking implication. Like, all right, I'm not gonna lie, that's I completely annihilate him. Like, okay, wait, what? Oh, I'm all right, whatever. Dude, what is this grade school? This is also like I said, this was the probably as like we were kids, the worst fucking advice is that oh, if people are mean to you, they like you, or like the golden rule, like that's actually horrible fucking life advice. Like, you know, no, it literally doesn't like. What are you fucking talking about? Yeah, like why the all right, now it's like this is like the equivalent. Like you message someone, they're like, "What's up?" And you're like, "Oh, just killing time, bitch. It's fucking noon. Like you got the whole day left. You're not gonna spend the entire day texting someone. Like go do some shit. Like just saying, "Oh, I was just trying to kill some time." Like, bitch, what? Similar to what the fuck is? Hold on, waiting until I guess. Funny enough, she probably yeah, she did actually mention that. That wasn't like common occurrence. Like that wasn't like I'm siding with the MC on this. That's a normal way to phrase that. Like, like a common occurrence. That's a normal way to phrase that. Like, true that. This is fucking cringe as fuck. Like, you're not saving that much time by not typing an E. But I was gonna say, like, that's a normal way to phrase that, like common occurrence. Like, I mean, that's fair. Like they're good friends, you know. And again, funny enough, and because this is after the MC already suspects that she has a again, she's malnourished, right? So, but that because then that kind of raises back the question, oh, how, why, you know, and then it ultimately probably always goes back to her home. And again, this is just another thing on top of that, right? That they always eat at her house, you know. Totes, what the fuck? What is this? 20 fucking 12? Like I've never seen someone use the word totes. Like that's like a made up word. Like I guarantee like nobody ever did that. Yeah, like and again, to be fair, like the MC does it, but again, we know he's gaining like he's actually like gaining, you know, info off of this, right? She's calling me. It's like blocked, you know, going over and never that is kind of suspicious, you know. Petite actually be malnourished. Or I'd say because like my first assumption, I don't even think would be malnourished. It would be like I do think an eating disorder, like I don't know if they're funny enough, I don't even know if they're as big nowadays, but I definitely do remember like going through like middle school, early high school, like, you know, and that was definitely something that was stressed a lot. I guess it was way more common then than now. I actually had zero stats to back it up. At least it just seemed like it was more prevalent. But like I'd say probably eating disorder would be the first assumption, and then I'd go to something more extreme. But you know, oh, canceled, you know. Oh, he'll be like, hey, I can cook you a meal. To be fair, like he because what was it? That was kind of something they had a conversation about, you know, to intervene, you know. All right. And I think because Natsuki reading this, like I feel like she's has to ask the question, what's he trying to imply? Like what's he saying? Also, dude, like to be fair though, like him actually like cooking for her, kind of stupid ass. What do you mean join me? I mean, come to my fucking house and eat. Like what other was my message to it? Yeah, it's like was did I not say it? Like, you know, all right, now he's just fucking yapping over text. Like, to be fair, I guess because this kind of goes to her own insecurity, right? Because probably in a decent chunk part of the reason she goes over to Yuri's is again because she's not Irish, right? And I guess it's questionable how much or whether or not Yuri knows about her home situation and home life. I guess it is kind of a valid, legitimate question. But again, obviously the MC doesn't has no clue. So he's and they didn't have a routine. So he's just seemingly out of the blue inviting her over. And Natsuki with her own insecurity, like I guess ironically enough, I'd say pretty similar to Sayori pertain to their own self-worth. We drew a similarity between Natsuki comparing herself to Yuri and Sayori to Monaco, right? Like there's again kind of a lack of self-worth involved. You know, she must be asking for not well, what's his motive? Like gauging her out? Like I think she's it's more so coming from a place of insecurity. And again, like funny enough, the exact same fucking response she gave, right? To be fair, like that is like a pretty like I mean, like this is pretty crazy, but it's also like I mean, this isn't like anything malicious, and it's basically only because her plans fell through. So it's like, correct, bruh. Like, because I guess she thinks, you know, like this is still some sort of trick, right? And that he's gonna like pull something out of his sleeve. Damn, fucking right now? Like, yeah, it's like, what the hell, you know? All right, but we do know she lives close by, right? And I guess this is funny, right? The real reason, I guarantee he's trying to like gauge out her kind of. I'm curious what he's gonna cook because we know he can cook, right? What do you mean? What are you doing out here? This is our fucking house, dumbass. See, you couldn't. All right, whatever. Like, yeah, it's like what the hell, you know? Because funny enough, we know at least on Sayori's right, Yuri brought up the whole fucking pink frilled skirt and then the fucking cat, you know, t-shirt, right? So, all right, you know, just start saying shit like all right, that's funny as fuck. He's like, all right, we need to actually go grocery shopping. That's funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty fucking. All right, baked meat is fucking insane. Like, because I'd be curious if Natsuki, like, what the fuck is he gonna cook? Like, I'd actually genuinely be curious. I'm like, what the hell is he gonna make? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not a big like this. This is gonna be pretty crazy. So, well, let's put it this way: about not last year, but the year before. So 2012 Thanksgiving, I had a giant like potluck, or I guess what did they call it? Or like Friendsgiving, it was literally like about me and a dozen of my buddies, right? We kind of met up and just like basically there was like a UFC fight going on or something. So we kind of had dinner, like a giant potluck into that like UFC fight, chilled, drank a bit, right? And then kind of we all lived in the same apartment complex. But I remember for me the big thing was I made because I ended up bringing an entree, right? Because everyone brought food. I made beef sliders and those were pretty good. But like that was kind of like I chose like the logistical like easiest thing I could justify making. I was like, all right, this is gonna be the easiest thing I can make. But if I had to like actually like I don't even want to say make a girl a meal, right? Because that's like, because I'd say this like that's not his intention. Like he's not trying to rizz her up. Like I still think it's more about kind of gauging her. Like it's more about the mystery of all right, what's her home life like? I think pasta's a pretty good bet. Pasta, like, because I feel like if you're just going straight to fucking steak, like that's pretty crazy. But like, I think pasta's a good bet because it's something to where it's like, it's not too like casual, not too fancy. You can do a lot of stuff with it, like decent variety. Like pasta's a pretty good bet. Like, granted, I'm not saying make like spaghetti. I'm talking about like a nice pasta. So let's see. That's what I was gonna say because I'm curious. I'd be like, if I were in her shoes, I'm like, what the hell is he gonna make? Like, yeah, it's like, what the hell, All right, he's like just, yeah, like pawning off all the work, that's low key funny as fuck. So, yeah, might as well fucking bitch fucking Kellogg's. All right. Which we've seen this background before. I just don't remember which was it fruits? I don't remember. But making her all right, so that's you know, why'd you think that? I don't because I'm more of a mild guy myself. Like I'm not super like I'm not a big spot. I feel like that should my melatonin my melanin right not melatonin my melanin skin color should give it away. But I'm not a big spice guy. You know. So like I'd rather have shit mild and then if like I want to like some spice or some kick, I'll just add that shit on myself. Like let's see that make me sweat. He's like actually struggling. Yeah, like too like Val. Like I was never like because I do know some dudes who are really into spicy food. And I mean, it's like I'm just like, and it's not like it's a for a specific dish. They're just into spice itself, and I'm like, you know, yeah. Also, to be fair, like I'm also not that big into sweets either. Like I'm not big into sweets either. Like say on chicken, vegetables, carrots, potatoes. So damn, bitch, we are at home. Like, why do you? I mean, also because to be fair, like like she, I guess she thinks she might take part in the cooking, but it's like it's a genuine hobby, right? Like, like if you enjoy something like that, like it's because all right, to be fair, like it's just staying the unstated, right? Like Natsuki's never gonna say it out loud. But it's like obviously he knows that's the point, right? Yeah, Sayori, and again, funny enough, he's kind of making a what I guess would be small talk here, but obviously given his suspicions, but also all right, to be fair, like, and again, like he's like, I'm rich. All right, that's pretty crazy. for food and whatnot. All right. To be fair, I had basically the same thing in college via my scholarship. Not every 2 weeks. It was monthly. Obviously, now that I'm working full time, I get paid bi-monthly. But yeah, it was just a month like stipend for like that stuff. It wasn't enough, but it was I'd say nearly there. Like it wasn't like I was just getting nothing. But yeah, Secret Rich Kid, that's like versus Monaco is overtly rich, right? Mylance is the only me. All right, bitch, like you can like leech off of our people in the system. Like, oh, living alone, right? Because we know that's what she, because obviously given her own issues, right? Living alone. And that's something I think that, and this is actually very interesting. Honestly, I think I'm going to end this here because one thing I am kind of curious about and brought up is how they're going to go about the MC's kind of passed on these other routes. I don't think they're going to go in as in depth. I think really the maybe he opens up a bit near the end, kind of similar to Sayori. But I think the main thing was we got the bulk of the MC's backstory on Sayori's route. I guess it's really a question of how much he's going to open up to them because obviously she's going to point out, oh, you live alone, which, funny enough, from her angle is a good thing because she has to deal with her dad. But obviously, she doesn't know what DMC went through, right, pertaining to that. But again, that will be something we'll continue in the next one because I think that's a very interesting conversation that we can have about that. I don't really have anything else to say. So, yep, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.